Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight for our Village of Alsip Board meeting. Today is June 17th, 2019. We're going to call this meeting order at 7:30. Can we call the roll, please?
Yes. Trustee Dalzell?
Here.
Trustee Zielinski?
Here.
Trustee Juarez?
Here.
Trustee McLaughlin? Here. Trustee Murphy?
Here.
Trustee Nava Esparza? Here. Mayor Ryan?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please join us for a Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we start with our reports, we're going to have a bid opening for the replacement of the fire department overhead doors. How many doors, Tom?
6.
6 overhead doors. Okay.
Thank you, Mayor Ryan. We did receive 2 bids. The first bid is from A Better Door and Dock Services, LLC, 19015 Jody, Jodi, Road, Unit B like Boy, Mokina, Illinois, 60448. There is a check enclosed for the bid bond.
You're not financing anymore.
There's actually 2, one for each of the fire stations. The first estimate I'm sorry, they've done 2 separate ones. So
Madam Clerk, one might be for the overhead doors and one might be for the replacement door motors.
you are correct, sir. So the replace existing damaged doors in Holloway total is $27,852. That's 27852.00. And the second to remove existing operators in Holloway is for $32,395. That's 32395.00. Thank you, Chief Stasinski. The second bid is from Door Systems, 2019 Corporate Lane, Suite 159, Naperville, Illinois, 60563. They have submitted it all as one lump number. And their total is $68,656.00. 68656.00. And I do not see mentioned in here a bid bond, nor is there a check enclosed. And that is all.
So the first one tallied up, combined was $60,247.
The first one's cheaper, almost by $8,000. And they already have the 2 checks.
The total for the first 2 is $60,247, 60247.00.
Okay.
That is all, Mayor Ryan.
Great, thank you. Trustees, before we start with our reports, I had a request. I've got a couple of people in the audience representing a couple of vendors that we've got on our agenda this evening. I'd like to get to them first. before we go on with our reports, somebody had to leave sooner, and I'd like to accommodate them if we would. So if you would,
Make a motion to
yes, to move that, we're going to
dispense with the normal order of business.
To amend the agenda, thank you. I was reading at the same time, thank you. The first person I'd like to ask to come up, it would be Molly, representing the Santori Energy, and this was regarding the natural energy bidding that we were looking at. I was just trying to find on here was the...
I see it under at 6A actually too. So it was on both pages.
There you go, it was under finance.
Under finance, yeah, and then
Thank
there
you.
was a one on the consent agenda.
So, Trustee McLaurin, would you speak to that, please? You can give your whole report, and then we can talk to Molly.
Oh, hello.
You want the whole report?
Yeah, like all number 1, 2, and 3,
You
sure.
want to go, just jump to finance? Okay, fine. First, we'll do a request for approval of a list of payroll dated June 7th, 2019, totaling $422,708.67. Next, I have a request for approval of accounts payable dated June 17th, 2019, from the recap general fund, $531,330.54. Road and Bridge, $8,604.71. MFT, $4,841.26. Pulaski Road Corridor TIF, $4,049.84. 2017 bond, $114,300, and that is for the government funds portion only. Next, the 2015 bond, $102,600, and that is also for the government funds portion only. Next, water and sewer, $665,225.30, and heritage, $22,721.86, for a grand total all funds of $1,453,673.51. Next, we're here to discuss a resolution approving a contract for natural gas supply.
Okay, go ahead, Molly, if you would like to speak to this. I gave everybody a copy of this in their mailbox earlier today.
Yes. So I work with Kent Olivan. My name is Molly Vanderlaan. I'm with a company called Satori Energy, and I've been working with the village since 2006, I think, consulting on electricity up to now. And then Kent was looking at the natural gas bills for all the addresses are on the second page, and noticed that they were above market. So right now, as you can see, the market is less than 30 cents per therm. That's the measurement of natural gas. And you have been paying 36 cents per therm. So by signing a new contract for natural gas, you are going to save over 18%, or about $10,000 per year on natural gas. And so what I'm looking for from you and Kent needs is to decide on a contract term. There are 4 listed here. I would recommend either doing the 12-month, which is the least expensive option, or the other option I would actually recommend is the 36-month. And the reason I would also look at 36 months is because although it is slightly more expensive, one, you won't have to revisit this for 3 years. It will be done for 3 years. And also, if you do the 12-month, which is totally reasonable, but then in 12 months when you go to redo this, we don't know what prices will be in 12 months. So they could be the same, they could be less, but also they could be higher than the 36-month is currently. So then you're kind of in a situation where, yes, you paid less the first year, but then the second year you're looking at slightly more. I don't think natural gas prices will fluctuate that much, honestly, because the market has been very flat. But those are your 2 options. So we're just looking for a request for Kent, when he returns, to sign a contract either 12 or 36 months.
So, Molly, the way you explained this to me was at the 12-month rate right now, trustees, on page 1, the annual contract expense of $45,784. Molly, is that with the $10,000 reduction, or is that currently what we're spending?
That's currently what you're spending.
Okay, so it's
Yes.
going to, but you're saying with this new rate, it'll come down $10,000,
Correct.
$10,596.
Yes.
Okay, and...
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
so 45,000 's
That would
after
be
the
the
tax.
new cost. I'm
That's-
sorry.
that's what I'm asking,
In the
right.
upper right-hand box, it says current provider information. That gives your current annual supply cost of $56,000. I'm
Gotcha.
sorry.
I missed that, that's why I want to
Yes.
confirm with you. Okay, so that it is our new rate, trustees, is that, as she said, you would save $10,500 by going with a 12-month contract as opposed to a 36-month contract, which is $1,000 more, but again, that's 3 years out, and as you said, depending on where the rate's at that time, you lock it in at something like that now, it's not going to go beyond. Obviously, it's a contract rate.
Right.
So,
Correct.
so I guess that would be the question, trustees, is whether or not we want to commit to a 12-month or a 36-month contract.
And I'm just going to make one note. You just recently approved a 36-month contract for electricity. I think it was in April. So we did just do that. So you are locked through 2022 for electric.
Okay.
So
So,
Gamble.
I guess we can put this, first off, any questions? I should ask that first. So,
I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
if the rate, let's say the rate goes to 26 cents in 2 years, we'd still be locked into the 36-year?
yes.
Okay.
Yes. Once you sign a power contract or a natural gas contract, you're set for that time period. So these are some historically low prices. So, and it's much better than the current rate. But either way, you're winning 12 or 36 months. But yes, once you sign, you're at that rate for that term.
Okay.
and obviously, Satori Energy is shopping, you went to market on this, and Constellation had the best price on this,
For the longer
For
term.
the longer term.
IGS was, yeah.
Right.
Yes. You can
as
see the
opposed to
bidders here.
IGS was on the short term, on the
Correct.
12-month, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're with Constellation for electric, so I could also ask Constellation to match the 12-month if you prefer that vendor. You currently have that vendor for electric. So oftentimes I do that too. If you prefer to be with a vendor, can ask them to match it
Okay.
once we're ready to sign.
So, trustees, would you be in favor of a 12-month or a 36-month contract?
36.
Could you speak?
I tell you, trustee Zelinski, if you want to just go first, go ahead.
I'm in favor of the 36-month, even though it's only a half a cent higher term.
Okay. Okay,
36 months.
36, okay.
Trustee Juarez?
36 months.
36.
36.
Okay. Well, all right, then that would be the, okay, glass supply, I'm just making a note of 36-month.
Okay.
You know, and we can do this, Molly, just so you've got some direction too. Trustees, can I ask, Trustee McLaurin, could I ask you maybe even that we can pull this from the agenda, letter E, and add the language 36-month?
We would need to, I'm sorry, we would need to add Constellation
Right.
for entering into a 36-month gas supply with a therm cost as well, based on what's included in the resolution.
Do we want to make that motion now, just so we can finish this, or you want
I don't know, just
to?
do it on the consent agenda.
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
Great. And then Kent will make it official next week when he's back.
No,
that's-
it's,
Kent, I think, is the one who typically signs, correct?
no, actually, it would be me, but,
you.
yeah, but,
Do you prefer to wait till he's back, or do you want me to get you that?
well, once this is approved, we're going to lock into this and so forth then, too, so.
Okay, so I'll send you the paperwork.
Exactly, that's fine.
Okay, great.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Sure. All right, and then, it's fine, and thank you for making the trip down. Appreciate that. Trustees, I'd like to, let's bring up one more. Mr. Delabardo, you want to come up for a minute, Frank? This is under the Economic Development. Trustee Nava Esparza, do you want to give your report, please, and then we'll address Mr. Delabardo?
Approval of the May 2019 Economic Development Monthly Activity Report. Item 2, approval of an ordinance of the Village of Alsip approving a First Amendment to an agreement between the Village of Alsip and Howard Shanowski and Roberta Shanowski for the Phase 2 redevelopment of property located at 11515-27 South Pulaski Road, Village of Alsip, County of Cook, State of Illinois. Item 3, approval of a red line version for contract regarding services provided by the Liberto Real Estate Services to market TIF property purchased by the village commonly known as 11706-30 South Pulaski. Item 4, approval of a $2,000 payment to the Liberto Real Estate Services for marketing village-owned property commonly known as 11706-30 South Pulaski. This payment represents 1/3 of the approved cost of marketing services quoted by DRES.
That is correction, that dollar amount is $2,500.
My apologies.
Okay. So, trustees, I spoke with Mr. Delaberto earlier, and that was the note I put in everybody's, I put a copy of the red line contract from Mr. Delaberto's real estate service, just reminding everyone that to ask all the trustees to review the red line version that was reviewed by our village attorney, Gary Perlman, made the red line changes. Mr. Delaberto agreed with the red line changes at the time, with the exception of the payment, because originally he was asking for a $7,500 payment, which this board had approved previously to spend up to for marketing purposes to market the properties at 11706 to 30 Pulaski, which was formerly the Edka Auto Sales and Car Wash property. Obviously, we're hoping for a good experience to try and bring in some development over there, and our economic development guys are doing a great job, but again, I want to put some fresh eyes on this to see if maybe you can spur some more interest in that then, too, for us. The question to the board this evening was, and Mr. Delaberto, I spoke with Frank earlier today, too, was, as opposed to Frank's, Mr. Delaberto's request of $7,500, I told him that I'd be more comfortable with a third down and having him invoice us for services from there out, and with us remitting payment within 30 days back to him for services rendered. We're going to approve all the work that you're going to do at the same time then, too, Mr. Delaberto, but certainly any payments and so forth and contracts are always approved by the board, which is why we're here this evening then, too. So, did the board have any questions on the contract or the payment? Yes. Go ahead.
There's a couple things in here. It says that we're going to conduct a sale, and it's going to be done by a sealed bid on or about June 25th, which is 9 days away. What's the whole purpose of everything else if we're going to do this thing by a sealed bid?
We meant, I apologize, trustee. Actually, I did amend that. I'm sorry if it didn't show up on yours, but we're going to amend those dates on sealed bid, and we're actually going to formulate a contract agreement as far as what we expect of the sale of the property, too. In other words, we're going to ask for development on that property, not just sale. We could sell the property, that's easy, but we're looking for a development to go in there.
And then there's the other aspect of it, the commission, if the purchaser defaults, so if the closing fails to occur because the purchaser's default under the terms there, that the seller, us, agree to pay the broker 1/2 of the defaulted earnest money.
Can you explain that, Frank?
Yeah, the premise on that is that if we have a high bidder for the property, and that 99% of the time it doesn't fall through because they have hard earnest money up, it's cash, and they've already gone through the due diligence and evaluation. We vetted them, and they have their financing lined up as well. But in the unlikely event that that would fail, we have the ability then to remake a deal with the backup bidder. And in those cases, half the earnest money from the front is shared with the seller. That's a typical, because we've gone through the exercise to bring that buyer to fruition, so we're sharing in the defaulted earnest money. That's typically our process.
So that's what that refers to, is we're sharing in the earnest money should the deal default.
That's correct.
Okay.
Right.
And I started the wrong vocation. And then, beside the money that we're going to pay up front, there's also going to be a 5% commission fee.
On the sale of?
On the sale of at closing. That's
Right.
paid at closing.
which I did ask about that, and that is actually, it's a decent rate from what I was told.
Oh, I can appreciate the rate, it's just that, it appears to me, and again, I apologize, I'm not into real estate, but we're paying in advance on all the different things, and then when we sell the property as well. So it doesn't seem to be that great of a rate after all.
Well, the monies that we've agreed to spend is actually on the marketing of a commercial property. And I know what you mean. Like, a lot of times, a typical sale of something like that would be you collecting just a commission, the 5% based on sale of.
Right, well, in a conventional process, there's no time date. It's, it's a 6-month or 1-year listing, and then it's, listed in the MLS or some other, type of passive marketing program. We're after, we're attacking the market, and we're being aggressive in the marketing. So, that's the nature of what we do. And then we consolidate that process usually into a 6 to 8 week period, during which we flush out the market and, get the right buyers. I mean, ultimately, this process is designed to get the best bidders who are going to pay the most for the property. So the, the marketing, if we make, if our delta is $50,000 on the property, as compared to what it would be in a conventional broker setting, the marketing does its job. So it's really a different, psychology to the whole offering. But Mayor's right, that's money that's spent. So anything that we collect, we spend. If there's anything else left over, we return it. It's hard marketing. Excuse my voice.
Yeah, and I guess that 9-day turnaround had originally convinced me.
I apologize. That was on me. There was a red line version. It was more based on the terms of what we're going to do. Frank, what is going to be the terms of the effective date and the auction date? Like, when we go, what are you looking at?
So usually about 6 weeks. I mean, we'll look for about 45 days from the day it's executed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we approve this evening, and say, for instance, tomorrow is the 18th of June, when would we plan on trying to have this go to auction then, too?
I mean, my math is off, but, let's say,
August?
6 weeks is like July 30th.
Yeah, that would be about it.
So it's 42 days.
Yeah. And then working backwards, prior to the actual deadline of all the bids being in, a couple of weeks before that, we're giving you information and on the prospects that we expect to make a bid and their pre-qualifications and, what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. All that is premised ahead of time so that by the time we get to that bid, we know who we're dealing with and what they're going to do. So it's a very controlled. I think that's the greatest part of this, is that you're really looking for a situation where you're not looking to just sell the property. You're looking to understand what it's going to be and the timeline and the agenda, for that buyer to react. And so we're going to have that. This program allows us to go in and create exactly what it is you want to do and, the criteria that you're going to put on the bidders. And so you can expect that the bidders that are coming to the table are going to be able to, submit that they will have, we can put whatever parameters, that's what we'll build into the bid package, but they will have a certain amount of time to bring their plan to the village. They'll have a certain amount of time to break ground. They'll have a certain amount of time to, whatever it is you want to do, we could build those controls into the program. And I think that's the most effective, thing that we can offer you.
And certainly, trustees, I'm going to be sharing all this with everybody at the same time, with all the marketing ideas and everything then, too, so everybody stays on top of what we're going to be doing here. Last week, Trustee Navas-Barza and I met with Mr. Delaberto and the Mannheim Group to start discussing what you've done so far. We do have some examples of some of the work and some of the projects you've been working on. You sent to the trustee and myself yet, too, so we'll show you what kind of language or literature that you've been working on to promote those products, as well as what we want to see from this project done too. So again, selling that property is easy, but we're not looking to sell it. We're looking to develop it and stuff then too.
Right, and you want to know
have someone develop it.
Right, and once somebody comes under contract, you want to know that it's done. There are no contingencies to the deal. They must close. They have hard-earned money up, and that really, at the end of the day, that's going to be the most effective way, because, a lot of people will come in and tie these properties up, and they just can't deliver. By the time they go through due diligence, if everything is not perfect, they fall out of the deal. And as soon as you get to a bank and, you have to have appraisals and everything else. So this accomplishes all of those things ahead of the sale. So when we get to that sale date, you're dealing with a cash buyer that's going to perform like you want it to perform.
Sure.
Then it's just a question of the price. Here's the terms and that's what makes this environment so good as far as, achieving what you want to achieve in the use of the property.
Okay.
I had a question. I know you provided us with examples, but for your other municipal clients, what's the turnaround time, like the timeline in regards to when you start marketing the property and so forth? How fast does that result in, like, a sale, or can you just walk us through that?
Sure, yeah. So, and by the way, we're doing this to set an example. We haven't done this for the Village of Alsip, and so our goal is to set the example, for any type of future, prospective properties. So we're gonna aim to make it a real, experiment for you. But the timeline, we're really, the timeline is set up to be anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks, and it depends on, the information that we get, how quickly we put the bid packages together. So most of those projects will come into, that period of time. However, the important thing is that we don't have to, once the bid package is created for the property, the terms are set, the bidders start to pre-qualify themselves, they start to present us with use plans and all of this, and then in that process, there's no reason a buyer can't step up and make a preemptive bid. So sometimes that happens, where we may have 2 or 3 weeks left to the program, and a buyer steps up and said, I don't want to wait and compete with everybody who's going to submit the bid. May I make a preemptive bid? So, sometimes it can happen in a few weeks. It depends. But generally, we like the process to be contained within an 8-week period. So that's usually the, unless there's some glitch in the market, for example, if we, got moving and then suddenly, we were at, Christmas or something, or Hanukkah, or, some kind of event that we have to, maybe postpone and put more time into it. But, between now and then, I don't think there's anything, that's going to glitch. I think the timing is pretty good.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Exactly which are these properties?
The only property we're looking at, trustee, is the Edka and car wash property, just the south side of the street.
Because there's 2 sets of addresses on here.
That's what I'm saying. I apologize with the red line version, because Gary had both the, they had the Firewater property as well as this one, but we're only concentrating on the one property for right now.
So are we striking 11706 to 11710, or?
Yeah,
That is the one.
yeah, we're striking,
11640, sorry.
I apologize, we're striking the 11640 to 58.
We're keeping 140.
So 11706 to 30 is the correct
That's what we're looking.
parcels?
Right.
Okay.
Right. And again, as we had in here too, should the original contact that we had, if they were to come back and change their mind, then this contract doesn't exist. In other words, they get first priority of this whole project and stuff then too. I don't believe that's going to happen based on recent conversations, but Attorney Perlman put that in there and stuff then too.
Right, and I had a conversation with him about that, and, it's, clearly we'll grant that, but our recommendation is always, if somebody comes back, they could come back to, control the deal again.
Yeah.
And then our party goes away, and then they do the same thing, so,
Understood.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm glad you do too. Okay.
we got it.
Chip, question, trustee? Okay. All right, thanks, Frank. We'll take this matter up later when we do the voting. Thank you very much. Then we'll continue on with our officers' reports, starting with myself. A couple quick notes. This past weekend, Saturday, I want to congratulate Chuck Geraci. Another great job. He trained almost 30 CERT recruits. Again, that's the Community Emergency Response Team. Did a nice job with that group. I met with them on Saturday, and we appreciate their commitment to helping our community and others. I guess they've got some more follow-up training coming up yet then, too, but and that's great. This is the second year in a row we've had the Citizens Emergency Response Team program, and we've got close to 60 volunteers that have come from that yet, too. So thank you to the Chuck Geraci, who's our Director of Emergency Preparedness. Second thing was, very quickly, I had a couple of notes that just came across my desk. Friday and today, Danny from the Water Department, Terry Vershik, former fire chief here and resident, he'd say, I just want to tell you that Brian Drasik in the Water Department is an excellent example of a person who gives his best to serve the people of our village. My neighbor had a leaking water valve by the meter and could not get it to stop, and it was time consuming to keep emptying small bowls and large bowls to catch all the water. Brian came out, shut off the water at the Buffalo box, saw how my neighbor's predicament was, and shut it off at the box, and they replaced the valve immediately and completed the repair. My neighbor was able to use her toilets and so forth. And again, just wanted to thank Brian for his thoughtfulness, because he really jumped all over that then too. So thank you to Brian for doing that. He says, I've witnessed many village employees do a fine job. He went the steps beyond. In this particular case, it was a difficult situation, and he was very courteous and efficient, and he made me proud to live in Alsip for being such a caring employee. So thank you, Mr. Vershik. And then today I got one from Sylvia Montez. I'm getting in touch with you to tell you that Brian Jurasik, this is Dan's foreman with the Water Department, was out to our home last week. He was very professional and did a great job. Want to make sure he gets recognition from us. We called about our water needing to be turned off, and he was very prompt and helped us with the situation. So extend that to Brian. Thank you. Good job. Wanted to really quickly go across here. Public Works, thank you this weekend. Mike, you guys did a nice job on the Touch a Truck. And obviously with the fire department, you guys did a great job as well, Tom, with the Fun Fest. The fireworks came in kind of low a couple of times, I noticed, too. You guys were back there for that, too, huh? Yeah. Nobody needed a haircut after that, or what, you know?
At least we didn't get rained on with the embers this year. So
yeah, I saw a couple of them came down low. And then I want to thank the clerk's office as well. You guys are seeing a big volume of people coming through the door. Girls are doing a nice job, and they're not holding anybody up out there. And again, the building and water departments, both your clerks over there are doing a great job too. We got a real influx of people pulling permits right now. I'm all over the place lately, and they're doing a great job. And lastly, I attended a meeting last week. Everybody on behalf of Metro South Hospital had plans to close in December of this year, and there are going to be some follow-up meetings. I got a notice today from South Suburban mayors and managers. And unfortunately, this whole situation, they had some of their board members there. Larry Gretto's on their board, State Representative Robert Rita. They're on that board for that hospital, and unfortunately, the ownership isn't really talking to the board. So they're making a corporate decision of some type, but the community is trying to do what they can to intervene and see if there's any more dialogue that can be had to try and save that hospital from closing over there then too. And then the last thing on here was, I just want to remind everybody, this is going to be a real hot topic coming up with all communities in Illinois. In less than a year, the federal government will be undertaking the constitutionally mandated decennial census to highlight the importance of the census to Illinois cities, villages, and towns. There's going to be different programs that are going to be made available, known as the for the 2020 census count. The census is not just important in determining how many seats Illinois will have in the U.S. House of Representatives. The census is critical to everyday governance in our communities. It has various impacts on local government. One, determining the various state shared revenues is on a per capita basis. That's also known as our local government distributive fund. Number two is municipalities with wards or districts may have to redistrict based on new population members from the census. And please keep in mind, the last is more than $675 billion in federal funding is distributed to states and communities every year based off the census. That's why a complete and accurate count is important for each of the Illinois' 1,298 municipalities. So we're going to be posting a lot of this information on our websites, and there's going to be some. I've seen on there. We did one we posted recently. There were some of these places are already starting to hire some part-time help and so forth to help with these counts. This is going to be a difficult thing all the time because when you go to people's door, it's enough when you go on campaign reasons and so forth. Now you're going just to say, hello, how many people live in the house? We won't ask for anything personal of these people. We're just trying to get an accurate count. So hopefully everyone, if you can really extend to your neighbors and your friends and everybody else living in a village, it's really important that they receive these people well at the door. And it's just a couple of quick questions, just so we get an accurate count of how many people live here. This really depends on the government revenue that streams to us. Also, Chief, I had on the agenda here, were we able, I had a pre-meeting, did we have the new K-9 vehicle out here tonight?
We did.
Okay, thank you.
It was out there once. The dog has about 3 more weeks of training, and then we'll
Okay.
set something up more official here.
Sounds great. And again, I met with the chief last week, and for the benefit of the public, we're getting a beautiful dog. His name is Knox, and he's a hybrid to like a German Shepherd. He's a Belgian Malinois. And I spoke with Officer Kevin Hayes, who's going to be the handler. Kevin retired from the U.S. Army. He was a major, right? He's going to be our official handler. The vehicle's done. We saw the vehicle last week. The vehicle looks great. And again, Kevin's really charged up. He's really looking forward to do this and stuff then too. So we appreciate his service to the community to do this then too. This will be a good thing. So another couple of weeks, Chief, before the dog's ready?
Correct.
Okay, we'll bring the dog into a meeting and show him to everybody and stuff then too once he's done. Thank you. That's all I had. Clerk's report?
Thank you, Mayor Ryan. President, the approval of the May 2019 FOIA report, there were 20 requests during the month of May. And that is all, Mayor Ryan.
Okay, thanks. Attorney's report, we have Joe Kinker.
I have no report, Your Honor.
All right, Joe, thanks. Engineers report, Will?
I have a request for approval to award the 2019-2020 MFT street resurfacing project to the lowest responsible bidder, Iroquois Paving Corporation, in the bid amount of $574,496.30.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right, thanks, Will. And again, we're going to be doing the Creekside subdivision, the Chapel Hill, Shirley Lane, and then a couple alleys east of Pulaski near 115th and 116th?
That's correct.
Okay. Public forum, anyone in the audience wish to address the board this evening? No? Go ahead, sir.
Fred Eberhardt. I'm a resident, 27 years. I was just wondering, because I live over by Hamlin.
Okay.
And it's in some need of repair. I mean, in front of my house, there was some patchwork done last week, which was very nice. You know, I'm glad to get around it. But Hamlin seems like it's kind of, in distress. So I was just wondering, since the village or the Garden Homes was able to pave their portion of Hamlin, if we had any resources to, at least consider looking at that. Because I know, at some point the former mayor of Alsip didn't think too much of us.
No,
East
Fred.
Pulaski.
No, please, no. Don't go there. We think the world of your community, and one of your residents just asked recently about that as well too, and because we are trying to focus on feeder streets like that, like Hamlin. Mike, you did give me an answer on that. What do we have that scheduled for? I mean, 10.
We've identified it, that it is in need of being resurfaced. Hoping to have it out next year.
And actually, right now too, Fred, we actually did put in for. We put in for, what was that block grant? Didn't we include that in that?
No.
Okay. It was Central Park.
Central Park and
My
Joe
bad.
Ellis, I
Okay.
think.
But I know we respond to the other resident from near Hamlin. We said next year we're focusing on that. So yes, Mr. Ivar, next year we're looking to do that block over there. But certainly, as you said, if we can assist it, if we can fix it a little bit better in the meantime, certainly we're willing to do it. And stuff.
That's, I'm understanding too, because there's, whenever we get a downpour or a heavy rain, it tends to pool around because there's open sewers or open drainage, storm pipes on 119th Street itself.
Yes.
And sometimes that leads to a rapid erosion of the asphalt. So, but it's just something that I don't know if anyone's addressed, but it's nice to know that you did a wonderful job on 123rd Street a few years ago. I think that's wonderful, the expansion of it. But yeah, I mean, if there was some attention given to some of the side streets, but the major side streets.
No, absolutely. And that was one of the things I said earlier this year is we want to throw more focus on the feeder streets because you're exactly right. Hamlin gets a big workout.
A lot of bus traffic.
Especially with the school
Yeah,
right
and
there,
we
too.
just recently did over near the Baymont Hotel. Those streets get a real workout. Everybody's using the 128th place, 129th, and so forth. But even, I live 119th and Cicero, 119th is getting a good workout too. A lot of homes, everybody, in fact, that's where the fire truck comes down all the time too, and those heavy trucks really give those streets a workout and stuff then too. So, yeah, absolutely, no, we'll certainly keep this on as a priority for next season then too. But no, we can certainly double check, if we can do more for Hamlin right now, Mike, we can certainly look at that then too. Okay. Yeah, thanks, Fred. Sure. Anybody else? All right. Standing committee reports, we heard from Finance, Fire report, Trustee Murphy.
No report tonight, sir.
All right. Police and Traffic Safety, Trustee Dalzell.
The consensus was authorized at last week's meeting, but looking for the approval to purchase 2019 police-rated Chevy Tahoes from Curry Chevrolet at a cost of $32,292 each. That's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you. The Public Work and Boat Launch, Trustee Juarez.
They have an approval of the May 2019 Public Works Monthly Activity Report. That's all, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Sewer and Water, Trustee Nava Esparza.
Approval of the May 2019 Sewer and Water Monthly Activity Report. Item 2, approval to purchase water meters and FluxNet radios at a cost not to exceed $32,754. That is all, Mayor.
And Dan, you gave me an explanation for that. You were saying, what was that? Right. That's where it was, the tariffs that may come in place. We want to have just a few more extra here. Okay. Thank you. Building and Health Departments, Trustee Zelinski.
I have approval for the May 2019 Building Department Monthly Activity Report, and also an approval of the May 2019 Health Department Monthly Activity Report. And that's all I have tonight.
Okay, thank you. The Human Resource and Insurance, Trustee Murphy.
I have approval of a 457B plan with One America to replace the current plan providers nationwide IPPFA and VALIC. And that's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Then we'll go to the Special Committee reports. Economic Development, Trustee Nava Esparza, you already gave your report, so we're good with that. Next is Village Properties, Trustee McGlohorn.
No report this evening, Mayor.
All right. Ordinance and Legislation, Trustee Zelinski.
No report this evening, Mayor.
Okay. IT, Trustee Dalzell.
No report, Mayor.
Okay. Plan and Zoning and Licenses, Trustee Juarez.
I have an approval of a list of licenses dated May 28th through June 10th, 2019. That's all, Mayor.
All right. Thank you. Trustees, any presentations, petitions, or communications?
I do have something.
Go ahead.
Just a reminder that village vehicle stickers are due by June 30th. Late fees begin July 11th. We are currently slightly above last year's pace by 196 vehicle stickers purchased. 52 of those have been online. And Saturday, June 29th, the Village Hall will be open from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., but please avoid the rush and do it now. That is all, Mayor Ryan.
All right. I wanted to extend to Police Chief Miller. I apologize when I was thanking everybody else. You guys did a great job this weekend, too. Saturday, when the weather was bad, must have been something in the air. There was traffic accidents all over the place with the wet pavement. Saturday, I saw, every time I left the house, there was an accident over there on Cicero and whatnot then, too.
It's a busy weekend.
Yeah. And Chief, today we saw, too, we're getting an influx in, people got to start locking their gates better. How many, we've been collecting a lot of dogs lately and stuff, too, huh?
Probably about one a day for the last...
Like one a day?
4 or 5 days.
That's what I mean, like for this whole week, we're getting dogs left and right, and getting out from people's homes and stuff, and too, and we're doing our best to try and get people to reclaim them, but not everybody's on social media and stuff like that, so it's kind of hard to get the word back out. Are these dogs chipped much, Chief, too, or no?
No, we don't come across too many that are chipped.
Really?
Wow.
Okay. Seems like that's almost like an automatic thing these days. Everybody gets a chip in the dog and stuff, then, too.
They do it from the pound when you rescue one. They do it automatically.
So, yeah, Chief, thanks. We had a meeting today, and we could hear the dog downstairs trying to find the owners and stuff. Then too, he was definitely doing his best. But fortunately, you've got a good recovery. Most people are finding their dogs after a day or so, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been pretty lucky within the next first couple of days, either they come back or they're at pause. We try and hold on to them for a couple hours before we bring them to pause,
Okay,
just because it costs us money if nobody picks them up, so.
right. Thank you. Trustees, do you wish to remove any items from the consent agenda?
I'd like to remove item F.
F, okay. Okay, anybody else? All right, can I get a motion then to establish a consent agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call number 1 to establish the consent agenda. Item number F, as in Frank, has been removed. Trustee Dalzell?
Yes.
Trustee Zelinski?
Yes.
Trustee Juarez?
Yes.
Trustee McLaughlin?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Nava Esparza?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion to approve the consent agenda is presented.
Second.
Roll call number 2 to approve the consent agenda as presented. Filling in some additional information. Letter C is in Charlie's approval of a list of payroll dated June 7th, 2019, totaling $422,708.67. Letter D is in David, approval of a list of accounts payable dated June 17th, 2019, totaling $1,453,673.51. Letter E is approval of a resolution approving a contract for natural gas supply with Constellation for a term of 36 months for 0.3006 cents per therm. Will be resolution number 2019-06-R-1. Letter I, approval of an ordinance of the Village of Alsip approving a First Amendment to an agreement between the Village of Alsip and Howard Chernowski and Roberta Chernowski for the Phase 2 redevelopment of property located at 11515-27 South Pulaski Road, Village of Alsip, County of Cook, State of Illinois, is ordinance number 2019-06-5. Again, roll call number 2 to approve the consent agenda. Trustee Dalzell.
Yes.
Trustee Zelinski.
Yes.
Trustee Juarez.
Yes.
Trustee McLaughlin.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Nava Esparza.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next, we'll go back to the item removed from the agenda, letter F. This was the approval to purchase 3 2019 police-rated Chevy Tahoes from Curry Chevy at a cost of $32,292 each. Trustee Murphy, you have a question on it?
I think I just answered my own question. I was looking at the bid,
Typo.
the Explorer,
Yes.
25,513. All right. Got it.
And we found, and just so everybody in the
What a
public
significant
understands
savings.
too, we had a committee meeting last week, and it turns out that the Explorers are using a truck frame these days, which increased the cost of the vehicle, and actually made it comparable now. Actually, the Chevy Tahoe is, what, $1,500 less than the Explorer?
These are about $2,000 less than the Explorer because they're overstock from the.
I see. So it was an overstock. We're getting these at $2,000 less than what an Explorer would have been, so we're opting for the savings in the vehicle, so we're going to go with the Chevy Tahoe instead. Okay. Thank you, Chief.
I just figured with the difference in price there, it didn't come with an engine.
Saves on gas.
That's right.
So, Trustee, you want to make the motion?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Motion to approve.
Well, you got to read the thing.
Oh, I'm
Come
sorry. There we go. Approval to purchase 3 2019 police-rated Chevy Tahoes from Curry Chevrolet at a cost of $32,292 each.
Second.
Roll call number 3 to approve letter F is in Frank, approval to purchase 3 2019 police-rated Chevy Tahoes from Curry Chevrolet at a cost of $32,292 each. Again, roll call number 3 to approve. Trustee Dalzell.
Yes.
Trustee Zelinski.
Yes.
Trustee Juarez.
Yes.
Trustee McLaughlin.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Nava Esparza.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Trustees, any unfinished business? Any new business? Then can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much for joining us this time, folks. We'll adjourn this meeting at 8:20. Please enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you very much.